Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today it's time for our end of September YouTube bonus square. End of September, where has this month gone to? So anyway, it is the end of the month, so we're making this beautiful poinsettia square. Poinsettia, I don't know how it's pronounced, but beautiful flower. Beautiful textured flower, and from the bottom, from the back, it looks a bit like a chip and dip bowl. This square does start to bunch up a bit as you make it. When you're making these petals, it will bunch up a lot, but don't worry, just go with it and it will all come good, just like this when you're done. So grab your hooks, yarn, scissors, cup of tea or coffee, and let's have a look at how we're going to make it. Okay, so to start round one, we are going to chain 6 and slip stitch into the first chain to make a ring. Now the magic ring doesn't really work for this square because it is designed to have an open center. So do your ring with 6 chains and then chain 3. And this chain 3, and every round will count as our first double crochet. And then we're going to do 15 double crochet into our ring, so we will end up with 16 with that first chain. So go ahead, do 15 double crochet, and I'll see you in a moment. And there we go, 16 stitches altogether, including that first chain 3. So round 2. Okay, so round 2. Now your work will start to bunch up in this round, but don't panic because it will straighten out in future rounds. We're just going to be having a lot of stitches in this round. So you're going to chain 4, and that counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. And then into your next stitch, you are going to do 5 double crochet. So this is where we're going to have a lot of stitches in this round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then chain 1. And then into the next stitch, you're going to do just 1 double crochet. It might be hiding a bit next to all those stitches, but just find it. So 1 double crochet, then chain 1, and then repeat this around. Do 5 double crochets in your next stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. So repeat that all the way around. You will finish with 5 double crochet and chain 1, and then slip stitch into your 3rd chain here. And here we go at the end of round 2. So you can see this is kind of bunching up a bit, and you think, how is this going to be a flat square? But believe me, it will. We are going to be putting even more stitches into this round, but it will all work out in the end. It looks like a sort of wavy kind of flower at the moment. So on to round 3, we're going to chain 4, and this counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that very same stitch, which is the top of that chain 3 from the previous round. And this essentially is a V stitch. We've got a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, and then we are going to chain 1. And we're going to do 2 double crochet in each of the next 5. So these 5 that were all in the same stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets in each. So I said there's going to be a lot more stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 10. There we go. Oops. 10. There we go. And then in the next stitch, oh, we're going to chain 1 first, sorry, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a V stitch. So that's your double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, and then chain 1, and then you're going to work 2 stitches in each of the next 5, chain 1, do a V stitch, chain 1, and then do another 2 double crochet in each of the 5, all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and then you're going to slip stitch into your 3rd chain. And here we go at the end of round 3, a very curly flower. It looks quite cool though, quite a good effect, but we're going to make this into our Poinsettia flowers. So this is where it will become more like the flower we are aiming for. So if you want to just check that you've got the right amount of stitches in this previous round, you should have 80 double crochets, yes, 80 double crochets, and 8 of these stitches, so 80 and 8, just in case you want to double check. So now for round 4. So for round 4, find my yarn, where's it gone? There we go. Okay, round 4, we're going to chain 3 as a double crochet, and then do a double crochet in the very same stitch, which is the top of that chain 3, and then chain 1, and then 2 double crochet in the other double crochet there of our V stitch, 1 and 2, and in each V stitch you will be doing the same pattern there. So when you come to your V stitch here, you'll be doing 2 in the first double crochet, chain 1, and then 2 in the next double crochet. Okay, and now if you look, you've got your next 10 stitches which were in those where we did 2 into each stitch. Now we're going to now bring this back down in size and make it pointy. So we are going to, or pointier, so we are going to chain 1 after this double crochet here, and then we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. So this is where we yarn over for a double crochet, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then we yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and we leave the last loop on the hook. And then we go into the next stitch and do exactly the same, yarn over, pull through 2. So then we have 2 loops, 1 from each stitch, plus the loop on our hook, and we yarn over and pull through all 3. And that gives us 1 stitch at the top there. You see that, 1 stitch at the top instead of 2. So then go into the next stitch and just pull through those first 2 loops, and then into the next stitch. You've got 3 loops left, yarn over and pull through all 3. So now you've got 2 stitches at the top here instead of 4. We've worked into 4 stitches, but we only have 2 tops. So go into the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet 2 together for the next 2. So you will have 5 stitches at the end of this. So we're bringing those 10 stitches back down to 5. Okay, so you've got your last 2 stitches here, double crochet 2 together, there we go. So where are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 stitches at the top there instead of 10, and then we're going to chain 1 at the end of that, and then we're going to use these 2 our V stitch here, as I said before, 2 double crochet into the first, chain 1, and 2 double crochet into the second double crochet, and chain 1. Okay, and then you're going to repeat this around. So you're going to do double crochet 2 together for all of the next 10 stitches, making 5 stitches, and then did we do a chain 1? We have done a chain 1. So do your 5 double crochet 2 togethers, and then do a chain 1, and then do 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet, and then chain 1 before your next set of 5 double crochet 2 together. So all the way around, and you will have at the end of it 40 double crochet two togethers, because we had 80 stitches on this previous round, and you're halving it, so you'll have 40 of those and 32 of your regular double crochets. Okay, here we are at the end of round 4. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking, how on earth is this going to turn into a square? But hang in there, all will be revealed in this next round. You'll see the flowers starting to take more shape, and then we will start squaring it off. So hang in there and all will be revealed. So round 5. Okay, so to start round 5, we're going to chain 4, and this will count as a double crochet and chain 1, and then you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and double crochet in the next stitch and chain 1. So that was all those single double crochets, or all those double crochets we had there, those 4. Okay, and then we are going to turn these 5 stitches here that we did as double crochet 2 together. We are going to turn all of these into 1 stitch. We're going to do a double crochet 5 together. So it's the same principle as when we did 2 together, but you will end up with 6 loops on your hook, because you have 5 stitches plus this loop. So yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull through and pull through your first 2 loops. So you've got 1 extra loop there, then go into the next one and pull through just 2 loops, and the next, pull through those first 2 loops, and the next one, pull through those first 2 loops, and the last one, pull through 2 loops, and then you've got 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, and that cinches that in. So you can see this petal starts off here with 5, then we doubled to 10, we went back down to 5, but then sort of we kept it in the same sort of width, and then we've gone back down to pointy. So it sort of starts pointy and then it works up and then comes back to pointy at the top. So this is where we're going to really start pulling our work in together. So then we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to work a double crochet into each of these next 4 double crochets with a chain 1 in between. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. And then we're going to do another double crochet 5 together of these 5 here. So I'll just do that once more with you. So into the stitch, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2, into the next, pull through 2, yarn over, into the stitch, pull through 2, and there's your 6 loops. I thought there was another stitch there, and then pull through all 5, and there we go. So now you can see this petal here is kind of doming up, and that is exactly what we want. So chain 1, and then work a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, and chain 1, and then you are back to your next double crochet 5 together, and then your 4 double crochets. I'll leave you to finish this round, and if it looks a bit of an odd shape, we'll work that out together at the end. I'll show you how it's going to look at the end. So just work around, and then we'll have a look after. And here we are at the end of round 5. Now you can see this is looking a bit of a funny shape. So what you want to do is push your petals out to the right side. So just go around and pop them out so that they are domed on this top side. And this is roughly what your petals are going to look like. This is your Poinsettia flower. You can now see how this is worked up nicely, and all those stitches have made us some beautiful petals. Beautiful, beautiful. I love how that's worked. Such a good texture. If I pop it to the side here, just in case you're watching this before you make it, I'll show you how these look. Beautiful texture. And then from underneath you've got all these little dips. Looks a bit like a chip and dip tray. There we go. So we're now going to start squaring off this little beauty. So now that you've got your whole flower done, you could now change if you wanted a different colour for your border, but I think I'm just going to keep it all in the same colour. Okay, so for round 6, now don't worry if as you're working some of these petals get a bit squashed down, because you can just sort them out at the end. That's absolutely fine. So round 6 we're going to chain 4, which will count as a double crochet and chain 1, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, and then chain 1. Now in our chain 1 space here we are going to do 2 treble crochets, so yarn over twice and do 2 treble crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more treble crochets, all in that same space, and this is making your first corner. There we go, corner is 2 trebles, 3 chains and 2 trebles. Then we're going to chain 1 and do a double crochet in the next stitch. Oops, next stitch, which is right next to your space. Chain 1 and double crochet in the next stitch. And chain 1. And then in the top of your double crochet 5 together, if you look, you have this here. Okay, you have a gap either side. There's one here, if you can see that on camera there. You have a gap here and you have a gap here. Now this one here is your stitch. Your stitch is always over on the right, unless you're left-handed, then it will be on the left. This one here is your chain, because then this here is your next stitch. Okay, so you want this gap here on the top right of your double crochet 5 together. That one there is the chain. Okay, so into this one we're going to do a half double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1 in the next 4 stitches. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, that's 2, single crochet, chain 1, that's 3, and a single crochet, chain 1, that's 4. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next double crochet 5 together, and chain 1, and a double crochet in the next stitch, and chain 1. And then we are back to the beginning, where you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and chain 1, and then you're going to do your corner in the next chain space. So if you rewind the video about 3.5 minutes, you can copy it round from when we did our first double crochet, not the chain 4 but the double crochet. So rewind the video about 3.5 minutes and then follow it round for the next side, and then the next side and the next side, and I will see you to finish off. And here we go. So you're going to finish with your half double crochet in the top of that double crochet 5 together, do your chain 1, and then you're going to slip stitch in your 3rd chain. And that finishes round 6. So if I just pop these petals back through, you can see where we're at. There we go. You can see it's squared off nicely. How lovely is that? Gorgeous. So it is time for round 7. Okay, so my squared now, I've just measured it, the end of round 6. This is now actually a 6-inch square. It's a bit floppy. You could probably do a single crochet round if you ever wanted to add this to your regular 6 inches, 6-inch squares. Mine has now come up to 6 inches. So just to give you a hint there, if you want to make it into a 6-inch ever. But I would finish it with a round of single crochet, I think, just to make it a bit more stable. Anyhow, we're making our big bonus square today, so we're going to move on to round 7. So for round 7, we are going to do a double crochet in every stitch and in every chain space. So we're going to start with a chain 3 as our first double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in that next space, and one in the stitch, one in the space, one in the stitch, one in the next stitch, and now we're at our corner. So in our corner we're going to do, okay, so in our chain space we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, and then you're going to repeat this all the way around, 1 double crochet in each stitch and 1 in each chain space. So apart from these 2 trebles at your corners, you will be doing you have stitch space all the way along, and then in your next corner 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet all the way around, and when you get back to the beginning you're going to slip stitch in the top of this chain 3, and I'll see you then. And here we go at the end of round 7. How gorgeous is this looking? Love it, love it. So we are on to round 8, and we are going to do double crochets again, but in this round we're going to skip every other double crochet and do a chain, just to kind of liven it up a bit, I guess. So let's do a chain 3 to start for our double crochet, and then do an extra chain for your chain 1 and skip the next stitch, and then do a double crochet in the next, and chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip a stitch. Now this is our one right next to our corner, so we're going to skip that, and then in our corner we're going to do double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. And then just to even this up, we're going to miss the next stitch. So we've got it sort of, we've skipped the first one before the corner, and then we're going to skip the first one after the corner. So chain 1, skip the stitch, and then double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. And this will take you all the way down to the corner, and you will again be skipping your skipping your last one before the corner. So then you'll do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in your corner, and then you will skip the first one after your corner, so skipping the one before and the one after your corner, and then going into the next stitch, chaining 1 in between. So follow this all the way around, and then you'll slip stitch into your 3rd chain here at the beginning, and I'll see you around there. Okay, so at the end you will do your last chain 1 and then slip stitch into your 3rd chain up. And there we go at the end of round 8. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so we've got one final round just to bring this up to our 9 inches, which is roughly the size that we aim for on our bonus squares. If this is already 9 inches, you could stop there, or you could just finish off with a single crochet round just to stabilize the edges a bit more. But mine is 8 inches, so I need 1 more inch, so I'm going to do a double crochet round, which is what I'm suggesting. So we are going to chain 3, guess what, as a double crochet, and then we're going to do, as we did on the row 7, we are going to do a double crochet in every stitch and in every chain. Simple. Every stitch and every chain. Working towards that corner. So this just gives it a nice, sturdy, stable edge. Especially good for attaching to your other squares. So for our corner, we are going to just do double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet. And there we go, straight round to the double crochet around the corner, and keep going all the way around until you get back to the beginning. And when you get back to the beginning, you're going to do a double crochet, you're going to do a slip stitch in that 3rd chain. So I'm just going to finish this round, and then I'll get back to you when I'm nearer to the end. I'll see you in a moment. So just as I'm finishing this last side, I thought I'd come and remind you that I would love to see photos of your squares in our Facebook group. There is a link to that group in the description below if you haven't already joined. And of course there's all those squares that we've done so far, all the patterns and charts and photo albums, and we would love you to come and join us over there. So click on that link if you're not there already. And if you found this tutorial useful and helpful, then don't forget to give us a thumbs up by clicking that like button, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell, and you'll be notified as soon as a new video comes out. So I'm at the end of this side, so I'm going to slip stitch into my top chain, that 3rd chain, and fasten off. I love the way this square works with those petals. It's just such a clever technique. It works so well for those beautiful petals in the middle there of our gorgeous Poinsettia square. Poinsettia? How do I pronounce it? I don't know. Beautiful flower. So there we go. Can't wait to see yours. So until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.